My name is Heather Beaumont-Johnson and I'm Director of Member Services at Arthritis Action. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist and I work regularly with people with pain. This is my colleague David Vaux. David is Arthritis Action's Therapies Manager and also a registered osteopath. David, can you tell us who has pain?
I think the thing to remember is that approximately 1 in 5 people in the Western world experience persistent pain, and often it's of an unknown origin, so we just don't know where it comes from. And the reason why I say that is that pain is there to help keep us safe on an evolutionary level, to help us survive and avoid danger. So pain can be useful and also can be useless if we start to feel it in a more persistent way.
So what are the characteristics of pain?
It's very individual. It can be a short-term or long-term persistent type experience of pain. As I said earlier, it's primarily involved in keeping us safe, unless it goes on for too long. So you might have a short-term injury, which normally would be done and dusted in 8 weeks, 10 weeks. If that goes on for too long, then it becomes unhelpful, and then you start becoming attuned to feeling that pain. And even in the absence of a biological tissue injury, you might still feel that. So pain also has an emotional component, and I would say it's a barometer of that individual's level of health, happiness, satisfaction with life at that point. So irrespective of the cause of pain, pain is always real. So even if you have a historical injury in, say for instance, your foot, and that's now completely healed in the tissues, you may still feel pain, and you're feeling it in your brain. And I think this is a good example of that skill that I was alluding to, that you don't want to learn. You can become very attuned and very skillful at feeling that pain in your foot in the absence of a foot injury anymore. But it's still real pain because it's in your nervous system. And that's very important to try and explain to people, that we feel pain in our nervous systems, not in our exterior bodies. What we also find with pain is that it varies greatly between different nationalities, age groups, different locations. And we feel it's to do with that area or that group identify with a certain level of threat and fear. And that can often be caught up in the language and the terms that we use.
Can you give us examples of common terms used to describe pain?
So one of the classic ones in arthritis is wear and tear. That in itself as a phrase is now being moved to be called wear and repair, because quite as scary. Slipped disc is another one that I'm often confronted with in clinic. And it just sounds like something bad. It sounds, the way they're describing it is a disc has come out completely. If you walk into a clinician's office, you often see an anatomical model where the disc is actually out and you can touch the disc and laying on the side. And it gives the impression that that's possible, but it's not. So, our body language as clinicians, our language as, just friends and family or professionals involved with pain has to be very careful, because if you increase someone's level of fear, you will increase their level of pain as well. Degeneration is another one that is commonly thrown around, which is just a horrible term. And my personal favourite that we often use is phantom limb pain. I mean, I don't think I can actually think of anything more scary than saying phantom pain. But also it kind of devalues that person's experience, because you're almost dismissing it, saying it's not there anymore, like we were saying, having been told it's in your head.
What are some of the ways to fight pain?
I mean, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think first and foremost, we need to help people understand pain and hopefully understand their own journey with that pain. And understand that pain isn't always a sign that more damage is being done. Pain is real, but it's not always a sign that you're damaging yourself further or that you are deteriorating. So we have to educate someone to understand about the process that they're currently feeling. We have to try and empower them through that education to understand that there are things that can be done in regards to pain. You don't have to withdraw from life. You can, through certain strategies, improve your experience and increase your activities of daily life around the home and outside and through social activity. One of the most modifiable things we can do if we are focusing on things like arthritis is modifying healthy weight via things like activity and healthy eating habits. Improving muscle function has been shown in all the evidence, is overwhelming evidence, improving muscle strength around an affected joint will decrease that pain. What we also know on the converse side of that is that withdrawing, becoming less active and wasting that muscle will lead to more pain. So there is a direct relationship either in one direction or the other. This is something you probably know about, and practice yourself in clinic is, relaxation techniques.
Yes.
Mindfulness helps with levels of pain. The less anxious an individual is, the less pain they will feel.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't really matter what it is that makes you feel more relaxed and less anxious, just do it. So try and find something you're not doing, try it. If it makes you feel more relaxed in any way, keep with it. Basically anything that makes you happy is the take-home message, I think, in that.